Did you know in 2009, Dangote and Otedola had a beef that almost destroyed their friendship that they had since 1981? Both men could have turned worst enemy just because of a business idea that didn't go well. How? Because Dangote's cousin got involved in it. Here's the backstory. Aliko Dangote first met with Femi Otedola in 1981. He was 24 while Otedola was 19 years old at the time. Now these two young men both came from a prominent family. Otedola was still living with his parents when Dangote on his own part was already a businessman who inherited some experience from his family establishment. Dangote's uncle was one of the richest at the time. He even gave him $3,000 to start up a business. Well, Otedola and Dangote met in 1981. They became friends and Dangote took the young Otedola as a brother and a mentee. At some time in 1984, when Dangote just bought a Rolls Royce car, Otedola, being a young adult with no personal car at the time, was said to have trekked from his parents' house in Surulere down to Ikoyi where Dangote lives just to celebrate with him. It was apparent that the young Otedola admired the hard-working Dangote so much that it likely picked motivation from him. They both work hand in hand like a mentor and a mentee since their first meeting in 1981 until 2009 when their friendship almost ripped apart. Now, here's why. You see, the Dangotes were known for their cement business while the Otedolas were more of the oil business. That was their signature and trademark for both family at the time. Now in 2009, another oil company named Texaco, which was owned by Chevron, was put out for sale. And you see, Otedola was the first to put out a $200 million bid for it. Though he owned Xenon Oil at the time, but he still wanted to buy Texaco oil. Otedola was going to have it. You know, rich people and aiming for higher things are like 5 and 6. Now, here's the problem. Out of nowhere, Dangote's cousin came out and said, "Yo, I'm going to buy this Texaco for $800 million cash." His name was Sayu Dantata. You see, Sayu's action literally means fuck Otedola and his money. I am buying this one, and that is where the problem started from. You see, Dangote wasn't directly involved at first. His cousin was. But Otedola was like, "See, Dangote, talk to your cousin. Let him not put mouth in my business. This is oil, not cement. Let him put his money where his mouth is." But you see, Dangote's cousin was more influential that Texaco was finally sold to MRS Oil. Mind you, MRS Oil was partially owned by Sayu and Dangote. They were the major shareholder of MRS. You don't understand. Dangote and his cousin owns the largest share of MRS Oil, and they still bought the Texaco oil through it. So now you get the maths and the logic, right? Well, Otedola felt angered towards Dangote, saying that he should have persuaded his cousin not to buy the Texaco offer, but it was too late. So in retaliation, Otedola launched his own cement company, the Xenon Cement. Even though it was not his line of business, he still wanted to do it as a way of getting back to Dangote. Now, this action triggered Dangote so much that he also went on to buy the largest share of African Petroleum. You see, African Petroleum is a public company in which Otedola also has a major share. Now, when Dangote bought a share in that company, he then manipulated the share price of the company to drop massively with the help of one broker. Now, this means Otedola, being a major shareholder, will lose a massive amount of money. You don't understand. Well, it's a game of the richest. Now, both of them took the beef from the corridor to the public. If Dangote is coming this way, Otedola goes this way. They don't talk any longer. In fact, they refused to greet each other at one committee meeting at the House of Representatives in 2010. Now, it became apparent that the long-term friendship is about to go south, and things would really go bad for both men and even the nation as a whole. Until Otedola's mother finally intervened. She instructed her son to close down the Xenon Cement Company for peace to reign. Otedola listened to his mother and he closed down the Xenon Cement Company. And you see, with that advice, she was able to settle the beef between both men. Otedola and Dangote would later reconcile, put the business dispute aside, and continue their friendship. Dangote's cousin, which was Sayu Dantata, would go on to purchase the old Texaco and MRS company and became the CEO and founder of this company. You see, sometimes business can really split apart the friendship that you have with someone. But you have to be careful, otherwise your long-term friend turn out to be your enemy.